guys, it's B. Welcome back to Unify. Thank you so much for being here. I am coming here today to give you guys another month ahead reading. This is for June of 2024. If you've not been here before, this is a collective reading, so it may or may not resonate, but it is going to be the overall energy for the majority, and hopefully you do get something out of this reading. So, I have my traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which I will use to get the overall week-by-week breakdown of energy. And then I will use my Threads of Fate deck to get a little bit of additional information on that. Then we'll go into the Angel Oracle to provide even further clarity, some messages of support and encouragement as well. And that'll be a little more concise as well if you have a particular question on your mind. And then we will close out each section of this reading, which will be the week by week sections, with a Seed and Sickle card. That usually kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Summarizes the energy or just validates it, which is really cool. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. It's going to be a 4-section reading, and I will have the timestamps below as well, so you can skip ahead. And as you move through the month, if you'd like to, you can come back and rewatch the weeks. So I've already cleared and shuffled my decks. So I'm going to go ahead and just start pulling cards. Let me just shuffle here on camera. We're getting 4 piles of cards for the month of June 2024 for the collective. Really excited about June, guys. I don't know about you, but myself and a few other people who I've spoken to or read with or had readings from. Ooh, okay. There we go. That was the 9 of Cups. You know, a lot of us have been, receiving the message that June is going to be a turning point. So I'm really excited about that. I'm sorry if there's background noise too, guys. I'm doing laundry and my washing machine is hella loud. It's like all the way on the other side of my house, but it's doing the rinse cycle right now. I should have shut the door, but we're already here, so. Anyway, hopefully you can hear me and not my washing machine. So yeah, let's get some more cards. That's going to be week 1. Let's go into week 2, week 3, and week 4. Being called to get one more for each from the bottom of the deck. This card one of these feels like, I'm just trying to distinguish. Is it just my hands that are extremely charged? It's hard to say. Or is it... I don't want all these cards. So I'm just gonna, okay, I'm feeling a lot of charge in general. I'm just gonna go with the cards that I've already pulled. And if I feel like I need to pull more, which I doubt because we're gonna go into all these other decks, then I will. So here we go. We have 4 piles here. Let's go ahead and get into the Threads of Fate. Get a few cards from here to add to these. But yeah, I don't know. June feels like a huge turning point. Of course, June 21st, we have the summer solstice. That's when, things really kick off energy-wise. Things start to come to life in the springtime, and then in the summertime is when we have just like an increase in activity worldwide. And so obviously different seasons around the world, but you know what I mean. I don't know if it's just that. I don't feel like it's just that. I really do feel like there's a huge shift in energy, and there's a lot that is going to come to fruition in the month of June that maybe we've been waiting for and just haven't physically seen in our reality yet. Seeds that have been planted are finally going to be ready to harvest. So yeah, I don't know. We're about to get into these cards and see what's up with that. I'm trying to get at least 2 of these. And let's get the Seed and Sickle. Some cards. 2. Oh, okay, hold on. Is this 4 cards? That'll be crazy. That's 3. Okay, we're gonna go with it. 1, 2, 3. And this one is sticking now. We're gonna take that 4. All right. So we're just gonna go through this in order. That way the timestamps make sense and it's not jumping all over the place. But as I move through the reading, I probably will like reference back other piles, because just as life tends to, you know, unravel, like certain things make sense in hindsight. And so as we move through the energy, it might make sense like why something maybe had to happen, or, you know, the order in which things happen. So we already got this 9 of Cups that flew out when I was shuffling. You have the Ace of Swords and the 6 of Cups. And so right off the bat, I am noticing like the 916. I personally have been guided by the numbers 6 and 9 in different variations for the past like 3 years. It's really been following me throughout my awakening. Oh, you guys can't see that. And so to have the 9 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the 6 of Cups, and it be like a 916, that's really cool for me. Obviously, like 6 and 9 are part of, you know, like the Nikola Tesla numbers, the numbers of like creation and manifestation. It's really 369, that kind of thing. But it is like balance and cycles coming to a close, and like things completing. And like with this 9 of Cups followed by this Ace of Swords, it really is like finally reaching a point where like I said, you're starting to like benefit from the work that you've put in certain areas. You're starting to feel more content. You're starting to feel like your work is really paying off, and you know, you're happy, you're emotionally fulfilled, you're able to really explore the things that bring joy into your life, and they could even bring like financial benefits. It's like being able to live a life where, you know, you're balanced, your inner child is happy. You're having a lot of new ideas as well with this Ace of Swords. Maybe you're even more direct in your communication. You're feeling more powerful. You're feeling more intelligent. You're feeling more wise. There's been a cycle where you've had to really go through a lot. Some of it could have been painful and difficult, but on the other side of it, you learned a lot. You gained a lot of wisdom, you gained a lot of experience. And so now, like, with that experience, you've been able to create change in your life. You've been able to really fulfill like certain emotional needs of your own. Like maybe there was a sense of codependence on other people. Maybe like before you were moving from a space of like needing, with the Swords and Cups energy, like feeling like you needed other people in order to really be happy or really be successful. Whereas now this feels more so like, because we have just the one person in the 9 of Cups, and it's the Ace, and that is like, you know, one singular. And then the 6 of Cups is really like a card of like past energies and your inner child and like giving back to yourself. It really does feel like now like you're really in tune with who you are and all that you are able to offer yourself, and how valuable you really are, and all that you bring to the table. And like it's this sense of like, I'm getting the sense of like just feeling really healed the first week of the month, because of some sort of events that have transpired that have led you here, like some really hard work, really getting honest with yourself, really letting go of things. The card right before the Nine of Cups is the Eight of Cups. It's walking away from things that don't serve you. And of course, to get to the Nine, there's like a whole bunch of other cups where it's like, you know, lack of emotional fulfillment and feeling disappointed and whatnot. Even like right before the Six, there's the Four and the Five, which are cards of disappointment. And so it's like now you're finally getting over that, and you're like, maybe you're seeing the lessons in things that happened and really understanding like the deeper purpose behind it, which is really cool. And so because of that, because like you've maybe closed out certain cycles and you stopped like, I don't know, I don't want to say playing the victim, but that's what I hear. So you stopped like playing the victim and you've started to like take your power back and kind of just like get over stuff. I keep going back to that Five of Cups energy, even though it's not here. Like Five of Cups is like that crying over spilled milk kind of card where you're just like, woe is me, like because something didn't work out, but really there's like more available to you. Like it didn't work out for you, like it was a blessing, it was meant to redirect you. And so like finally once you reach the Six, you have been redirected, and it's really fulfilling. So I feel like that energy here that we're going into the first week of this month is like really feeling fulfilled and really starting to benefit from certain situations that weren't as fulfilling before. Now let's get into these threads of fate. We have unfurl and we have wilderness. Interesting. So like unfurl is like unraveling something, unrolling something. We also have like wings, angel wings over the eyes in this card, and then there's the beautiful lotus in the background as well. So I feel like this is just further confirming that energy of like you've untangled some knots in your life. Again, like you might have been in certain situations that just kind of sucked and you were thinking it was your fault, or you were, you know, pouring into it, not seeing results, and maybe just kind of like looping and doing something the same way you always did. And you finally broke yourself free with this set of cards here. So that I feel like the unfurl card is really pointing to that. I feel like there's like new clarity with the lotus in the background, with the wings over the eyes. It's like you're seeing so much more potential. You're really seeing like how much further you can go and all that's available to you, and how powerful you are as well with the wings over the eyes. It's like I feel like you're able to really see so much more for yourself now that you've broken out of this like mental prison that you might have been in because of like mental and emotional like dissatisfaction, and letting that kind of hold you back for some time for whatever reason. And now like collectively we've started to break free. Finally my washing machine is done. Hopefully the whole like first however long in this video you guys can actually understand me and it's not cutting out, because that happens sometimes. But anyway, yeah, I really feel like this is like tapping into like all that's available to you, like really being connected to higher consciousness as well with that lotus, like in the wings covering the third eye. It's like really being protected by your angels and guided by your angels, and having like real actual faith in that because of the hindsight of looking back at all the things that you've been through and all that you've survived and the lessons that were to be gained from it. Also with the woman here, there is this feminine energy on both of these, and it's kind of reminding me of like the queens and just women in general in the tarot, or just women in general. Women in general, we are receiving. That's manifestation energy. That's kind of like sit back and let what's for you find you. And so I feel that too. Like I just feel like this sense of increased faith in yourself. And with that faith in this wilderness card and the way that she's like sitting so confidently on top of a lion's head, that's kind of reminding me of, oop, you can't see it. It's kind of reminding me of the strength card, the way she's like leaning back on a lion. It's like you're really feeling confident. There's even eagles flying in the background. Like this wilderness is just like, you're so in touch with your power and your ability to attract whatever is meant for you that you were just really feeling like the shit this first week of the month. Like you're really feeling like the shit. You're like, wow, I really did that. I can take on anything with this wilderness. It's like, even if you were, say, to be put in another really fucked up situation, you're still coming out of it on top, and you know that. And you know that whatever happens is going to be in your favor. So you're just chilling. It's just like, you know you have divine favor. And anything that you put your mind to is going to come to you. And again, with these moons in the background, there's so much feminine energy here with those moons. It's also representative of the feminine. And so it's like there's two different kinds of power. There's power by force. Okay, there's multiple different kinds of power, but like in regards to dualities, there's power in like taking force and like creating fear. And then there's power in just being like love and being loved, and people wanting to give to you, like give you opportunities, give you gifts, just work with you, or, you know, not just people, but the universe wanting to reward you for just being you, for being unapologetically you, loving and kind and understanding and in alignment with your truth. And, you know, also like walking into this new spaces and places where like maybe you've not been there before, but also knowing like it's your right to go to certain places, and with that level of confidence, like receiving unexpected gifts in that. So I really feel like, I don't know, with this wilderness card, there is that element too of like something unexpected, because like when you're in the wilderness, you really don't know what you're gonna run into, or what you really need to prepare for. But the way she's so confident in that card, it's like it doesn't matter. Like this is really giving just like super confident, super tapped in, super fulfilled, like unbothered energy. So I'll put that down. We have compromise and no for the Angel Oracle card. So this compromise card always reminds me of the Justice card, Libra energy with these scales. This is balance. So, and then we have no. So, oh, no exclamation point. Okay, so the no exclamation point card in the Angel Oracle card doesn't just mean like no, you're not going to get what you want out of this situation, but it's like a no because there's something better. Even with this green too, it's the color of the heart chakra. I feel like you might mentally think you want something in particular, or you might mentally have like a particular idea of how something is supposed to go. But what's really on your heart, like what your soul actually desires, is what the universe is responding to. So what you're thinking is not necessarily what you're going to experience, but what you need and what your soul actually desires at this time is what's going to come through. And that's always going to be to our benefit. Even if we don't really understand it or see it at the time, like it's always going to be better for us. And so I feel like this no card is saying that like your angels and God and, you know, your spirit guides, they're all like orchestrating this, like, I don't know, it feels like an ascension almost with the way there's like this castle in the background and all that light. It's like, and the way she's praying there too, it's like you might be asking for something in particular and God's just like, no, babe, I'm not going to give that to you, but it's because I have something way better that you couldn't imagine. And I think the compromise card is kind of speaking to that as well. Like if you had something particular in mind and it doesn't come through, especially since we have all this energy of like moving on from something that felt really disappointing, I feel like you're meant to like, first of all, have definitely learned from that and learn not to hang on to things that don't work and to just let it be. Because more often than not, if something doesn't work, it's because it's not supposed to. And we're like, you know, we're resistant to what is actually meant to be in our life. And that's why things end up so painful and complicated. But really, if we just like let it go and we moved on, it would be like a lot of things would be so much easier. We kind of shoot ourselves in the feet a lot as humans, like being in that resistant energy. So I think this compromise is saying, you know, when this situation comes about, which I really feel like it is something that you have in mind that is like super particular, if it doesn't happen in the way that you are thinking, like don't get too stuck in it. Like this compromise card definitely is like, you know, there's balance to everything. And again, like whatever you let go is going to be replaced with something better, or it's going to like something else that's going to better suit your lifestyle, who you are, your actual like goals. Like I said, what's like on your heart and not what you're thinking about with your head. Something that's going to fit in that slot better is what's going to come in to help keep things balanced. So like be willing to compromise, be willing to, you know, just be flexible. Again, we have all this feminine energy too, and that is that receiving and that love and that understanding versus trying to force situations. And so definitely like just be open to what is available to you with these two cards here. Let's see what the closing energy is. Is this a chicken? It totally is. Belladonna. That's pretty. A chicken with like clippers in its feet. Its claws. Let me grab my Dawn book for the Seed and Sickle, and let's see what Belladonna is. 20. All right. Belladonna. Belladonna is a card of inevitability and sacrifice. There's a conflict inside of you, making it difficult to focus on the task at hand. The shears of Atropos, the Greek goddess of fate, who gives Atropa, Belladonna, its name, are snipping at the threads you've carefully put into place. Perhaps it's time to sit back and consider where things have become entangled. You may have to place some of your other projects inside. Sorry. Let me turn that down. You may have to place some of your other projects aside to stop the main one from becoming completely knotted. I also think that ding is confirmation. Anytime that happens during my reading, I feel like it's spirit being like, yeah, somebody really needs to pay attention to that. Like, you might be spreading yourself too thin. What projects maybe have you started that have become, like it says, entangled? It says you may have to place some of your other projects aside to stop the main one from becoming completely knotted. So yeah, I think there definitely is like, and we do have that Ace of Swords. And the unfurl, which we talked about earlier, is unraveling, untangling, unrolling something. So there is kind of that energy there of like focus. So I think maybe that's part of the compromise as well. I think maybe collectively, like we might be just trying to do the most, and there could be certain things that have gotten postponed or placed on the back burner because we want them to happen now. And a lot of times when you do that and you spread yourself too thin and you're trying to do too many things at once, you end up not going, you don't get anywhere, you know, you're spread so thin that you're kind of stuck. So I think with that being said, especially like I said, with that Ace of Swords and the unfurl card, and then the compromise and the no, I think Spirit is really guiding us to just kind of like really take stock of the things that we are trying to accomplish and like our goals. And I think that's too why with the no card, I kept getting like, you know, what like God is trying to align you with what you really want and what's really best for you. So that's something that I think collectively we need to be thinking about. Like, what do I really want and what's really best for me? And for right now, pour into that instead of trying to spread yourself in all these different areas, because then you're going to end up overwhelmed and you're likely to just give up. Or, you know, things end up taking even longer because you are splitting your time with in between so many things. So yeah, you may have to place some of your other projects aside to stop the main one from becoming completely knotted. And that's not to say like it's a forever thing. I feel like this is literally just saying like, focus on your main project for right now, at least lay like solid groundwork so that you can take like consistent steps toward making it like a reality. And then you can get back to whatever else you need to do and you want to do. But trying to do it all and maybe even doing it like willy-nilly is not going to get you anywhere. I feel like that's what it's saying. Yeah. Sacrifice. Conflict inside of you, making it difficult to focus on the task at hand. So yeah. Some of us just have to cut some things out for now, and that's okay. I think whatever you end up focusing your energy on and what is like truly what you want to be investing in is what's going to ultimately lead to like the success you're looking for, you know, whatever success looks like to you. And so week 1, we're getting organized. Let's see what we have in week 2. The 9 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the 8 of Cups. Interesting. Okay, so this is kind of picking up off of that belladonna energy and that talk about letting certain things go, because that's what the 8 of Cups represents. It's moving away from things that just aren't working. They're not really serving a real purpose anymore, or again, like right now. And so we're having to move forward. But it makes room for what you really want to come into play, which I think is why we have the Knight of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of prosperity and like finally reaching the end of feeling like you're struggling for stability. You know, it's really like finally coming into what you need in order to live like a happy and prosperous life. And then with the Knight of Cups as well, it's like really moving toward what's actually on your heart, like what we talked about over here. Like, and I feel like, you know, with the work that's being done in week 1, we're finding clarity regarding what's really on our heart, because we finally like kind of cut out all the noise. And I feel like too, even if you like are having a difficult time, like narrowing down what it is in week 1 that you need to cut out, universe has a funny way of doing the work for us when we can't do it ourselves. It's not always pretty, but what I'm trying to say is don't worry, like you're going to get there regardless. So like, I would say just don't stress about this too much. Really just like, if anything, just get with yourself and figure out what it is that like is most important to you. What feels the best, like intuitively, not just like emotionally, but like what is your intuition telling you? Like if you were to think of something right now that you absolutely want to accomplish, what pops in your head first when you think of stuff, or when you think like, what does my best life look like where I'm happy and stable? What does that look like for me? And what's the first thought that comes to your mind? That's probably where you need to start to focus your time and effort for the time being. And anything else, you need to just put it down, put it to the side for right now. And I don't feel like everything that you have to sit down is just like a hard no. Some of it, you know, there will be a season for it later. But right now, you have to set solid foundations. You need to create stability in order to, you know, build all these other things. And so, yeah, really trusting yourself. We also have, it's interesting, we have, especially with the first cards here, that 9 and that 9. So 99, I feel like just further confirmation of like certain things closing, which would be the end of feeling unfulfilled and the end of feeling like you're like struggling, like really finding balance here. Yeah, there's a lot of like work on self as well. Like with all these cards, I noticed there's only one person, except for obviously the Oracle cards, but like 9 of Cups, you're alone. 9 of Pentacles, you're alone. The Knights are alone. The 8, you're alone. The 6 of Cups, that is 2 different people, but again, it also represents the self and different versions of the self. And so, yeah, it feels like this is a lot of like internal work that needs to be done. I also get the sense too, like to outsource what you can. That could also be part of it. Like maybe you're, okay, I'm going to use myself as an example, sort of, but you know, like as a small business owner, okay, like maybe you're doing your social media and you're doing YouTube and you're doing private sessions and you're doing classes and you're making products and you're doing markets, and and the list goes on. Maybe you're just trying to do it all at the same time and it's exhausting, and like some of it you don't have to do. Maybe you just need to kind of release some control, I think, maybe over certain things that maybe other people could help you with. Maybe you just have to allow that help. Again, that receiving feminine energy that we got in week 1. I feel like that's also wanting to come through. So let's see what these say. We have amplify and amend. So amplify, with the moon breaking open, yeah, this is definitely, and there's just so much energy around like your intuition just popping off. I feel like just in general, with all the things that have been happening energetically, astrologically, economically, all of it has been to open our eyes, to help us ascend. It's like all a catalyst for us becoming our truest selves, ascending into like the 5D and on, really learning to trust ourselves and our intuition. And like this moon being cracked open and it saying amplified, like I really feel like there's gonna be a lot of clarity coming this month. Anything that wasn't clear before is going to be, I think, like crystal clear this month. And I feel like too, like we were talking about in week 1, where you're like really trusting yourself more now, and you're really learning and understanding like the purpose behind certain experiences. Like I feel like just intuition is on point, and like you're not questioning or second guessing anything anymore. I feel like with this amend card too, like I feel like I get this card like every month, but I always like read it like, you're no longer repeating cycles. You're moving from this cycle, like this one Ouroboros, where it's a circle, so you're like repeating the same pattern over and over again, into the one that's like more visible, and it's an 8 or an infinity sign, where it's like you're no longer repeating the same cycle anymore. You're so clear about what's supposed to be happening, what you want, what you're trying to create, that like, again, you're open to like infinite possibilities. I feel like the amend card too is like amending things with yourself. I also feel like there's some forgiveness coming through too, because we have the 8 of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups can be forgiveness, or just like, emotional healing. So I feel like too, like you might be forgiving other people or forgiving yourself, and that's kind of helping create some clarity and freedom around things. It could be like in a smaller sense, like forgiving yourself for having to put things down and focus on one area, or forgiving like bigger things that you've been holding on to. But whatever it is, like there's this sense of like additional clarity here in week 2. Wow. We got the other no card. This shit crazy. And if you follow me on Instagram and you watched my live last week, or technically this will be out on Saturday, so this past Monday this week, if you watched my live, or Saturday, my bad, anyway, if you watched my live this Monday, I got both of these no cards. And so it's really interesting to be doing this and having shuffled my deck and cleared it and all that, and then for them to come out again. So there's a huge emphasis on this, like there might be some concerns around something. There might be concerns around like a cycle repeating or being wrong about a situation. But the answer is no. Like I said earlier, like God has a funny way of making you learn certain lessons when the time is like now to move on, or like there's an opportunity around the corner that you need to be ready for, otherwise it's going to pass you by. It ends up, things just end up working out in a way where you don't have a choice but to do the work sometimes. And I feel like if you're worried about not being ready to do something, and that's why you've been kind of spreading yourself thin so that you have like a fallback or whatever, I'm kind of getting that, like God is saying like, no, you can let go of that fear. You're protected. There's opportunity available for you. Again, like with that no, you're going to be receiving something that you can't see right now. And then with this ask your angels, I just want to go back to the other no card because this is kind of like, look at the imagery here. We have the woman in the pink robe, like praying to the angel, asking for favors. And then we have, and that's no exclamation. And then we have the no, and then ask your angels. It's almost like these two cards combined are what we got here in the first week. I think that's so interesting. And so, yeah, there's this energy of, if you're confused, if you're not sure about something and you're worried about something, I'm getting like, you need to just like ask for assistance. Angels are infinite energy and they're here to shed light on our path forward as humans. They're here to provide assistance in ascension and in learning to love ourselves and each other, creating balance, all that fun stuff, making life beautiful. So if you're like feeling frustrated, you're feeling confused, you're feeling stuck, you really aren't sure like what you're supposed to be doing, ask for help. Like, angelic energy is so abundant, like they can be everywhere at once. It's not like because I work with angels, they're not available to be there for you. They can be everywhere fully. And so if you need assistance, just ask for it and it will be given to you. It will be shown to you with this amplify card. I feel like it's going to be really clear to you as far as what is right for you and where you're supposed to be going. Obviously, like when it comes to any of this, like free will still plays a role. So it is up to you whether or not you act on the responses you receive once you ask for help, but they will be there for you. So let's get into the seed and sickle, the birch card, and see what Spirit has to say about the overall energy of this week. Birch. So it says, in Irish communities, the traditional winter Yule log is cut from the birch tree. A broom of birch twigs is used to brush out the dust of the old year and bring in the new. And the household fires are doused and then relit from the central. Guys, I don't know why when I'm on camera I have such a hard time reading. I swear I can read. Let me start over. In Irish communities, the traditional winter Yule log is cut from the birch tree. A broom of birch twigs is used to brush out the dust of the old year and bring in the new. And the household fires are doused and then relit from the central Yule fire to bring the community together. You are facing a new beginning, but do not embark upon this future alone. You will have a stronger start if you rely on friends, family, or colleagues to support you through your first steps. Do not fear removing what is past its use. Wow. Okay. So again, I love pulling these cards at the end. I think it's so cool how they kind of like add on to the messages or confirm, but like I just closed the book. Like I don't need to like look back at that. I already forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Anyway. Wait. Okay. It was talking about you will have a stronger start if you rely on friends, family, or colleagues to support you through your first steps. And I talked about earlier, like, I got the feeling like you could outsource some stuff. You can ask for help. You don't have to be doing everything alone in order for it to get done right. So I definitely think that that is being reiterated here. And then do not fear removing what is past its use. 8 of Cups. Yeah. Don't be afraid to let go of certain things. Like, that's just confirmation that whatever you let go of is just going to set you free and create more opportunities for you with the amends card. And also you have ask your angels. So not only can you ask your friends and your family and your colleagues, but you can ask your angels. And maybe that's part of the answers you'll receive is like, you know, you might not really realize that somebody even has like a skill set that you could benefit from. Maybe you have a friend and they're like bomb at marketing and you have no fucking idea and they're willing to help you with how you know, compensation, or, you know, they're willing to make a trade, or, you know, cut you a deal, or, you know, whatever. Like, you never know. Like, you might be thinking, oh, I can't do this because I can't afford it, or I can't do it because I don't trust anybody to help me with that. You just really never know. And maybe when you ask your angels, all of a sudden you're catching up with your friend or whoever, and they're like telling you for the first time, or maybe the fifth, and you're just a shitty listener. But like, you know, they're telling you that they do this thing and they're really good at it and they would love to help because they believe in you or whatever. That's just a random example. But I feel like that is what the card is saying there. And just like the cumulative energy here is saying. So yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm heavy breathing when I channel and when I'm reading cards. Like, the information comes so fast that I'm just like trying to get it out and not breathing. So if you hear me huffing and puffing, that is why. Okay. Let's get into week 3. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Not going backwards. All right. Page of Pentacles. That's cool. Page of Pentacles is like taking a leap of faith, new business venture, new opportunity, moving toward like financial success, or just moving toward like something that you've been wanting to try to create more stability. With the Seven of Swords or Seven of Wands, that is like overcoming obstacles, having the upper hand, maybe facing certain challenges, but being at an advantage here with the you being like on that hilltop there. It's like being really strong and persevering, even with that Page of Pentacles too. Like, Pentacles is very like persistent energy. It's like get shit done no matter how long it takes kind of energy. And so, yeah, it's like you're definitely moving towards something new. There could even be like an offer being made. Pages are messengers as well. So somebody like offering, I don't know, maybe like the help over here. Like, it could, you know, an alternate way to like it coming up in conversation. There's a billion ways that could happen. But like, as another example, just because we have this Page of Pentacles, somebody could be offering to help you or offering you solutions. Yeah, okay, so like looking at this full picture here with the Two of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles, and just on the like vein of making an offer or somebody offering to like provide assistance, I think this is saying like something along the lines of like, don't allow yourself to get like stuck because, ooh, yeah, this feels like being up against yourself. This isn't necessarily, again, like, we have so many, like, out of all these cards, it's like one person, one person, one person. I feel like right, like, now, like, in any case, like, we've overcome a lot of lessons that involved other people. At this point, we're our own worst enemy. I mean, we kind of always have been our own worst enemy, like, in a sense, because we align ourselves with people who, you know, are there to teach us lessons, or, you know, universe does align us with people to teach us lessons, and sometimes we don't learn those lessons, and then we choose misaligned people again and again. But I feel like in week 1, that's why we're feeling so accomplished. We're finally like, I know this pattern, I'm not going there again. And now we're at a point where like we're really just like breaking more chains within ourselves. I feel like that's what's happening over here. I feel like now, like, ooh, yeah, okay, like, because maybe some of us have been burned, because maybe some of us have taken up opportunities before that didn't pan out the way that they were advertised. It was false advertisement, and we fell for the okie doke, and then we were like, oh my God, this sucks. Like, this is not at all what I signed up for. It's super challenging. There's hidden agendas. thank God I got out of there, like, barely. And now, like, maybe you could be in a space of, like, feeling indecisive about trusting other people again with this Two of Swords. But I think that's why, again, like, why we've gone through all this and why there's so much emphasis on really trusting your angels and trusting your intuition and asking for help and being open to it and compromise. And, you know, all of this stuff is kind of saying, like, don't loop back. Don't become the kind of person where you're, like, so burned by certain situations that you're, like, missing out on opportunities. Because there are opportunities that are available to you. We also have that Knight of Cups over there. So it's like, there's definitely ways to move forward that are being provided to you. But don't get in your own way here and, like, not make a decision because you're afraid of what challenges may arise because of what had happened in the past. Because, again, like, there's so much emphasis on that shit's not happening again as long as you don't let it, as long as you pay attention and you don't keep choosing what you already know is not for you. Like, okay, I just realized this today. I met somebody, or I haven't even met this person technically, but I encountered somebody new. And we had an exchange. And from the moment I saw this person, I just felt off. And then when we had this exchange, it was just so clear to me that this is not somebody that I would do business with. I say that because that was something that was, like, kind of, like, mentioned in passing. And I was like, I don't know. Let me feel it out. And then today I was like, hard no. And before, I definitely used to be, and I'm talking about, like, last week, I used to be the kind of person who would feel that and be like, you know what, you're overthinking it. You don't even know them. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And I've done that so many times. And then, like, in hindsight, realized, oh my God, I should have listened to that gut feeling. This person is not for me for sometimes little reasons and sometimes really fucking big reasons, or reasons that are little that turn really big. And I ignored it because I'm like, I don't want to be a judgmental person and I should just give them a chance, and they're going through a hard time and I just need to be, you know, open and help them heal and da-da-da-da-da. But, like, no. That's the cycle we just got out of. And so now it's like trusting that initial gut feeling, and just going with that. Again, like, we have this energy of trusting and, like, being out of a certain cycle and, like, having completed certain lessons with these nines. And so I think this week here, like, with whatever this offer is, I feel like this is a test to see if you learn from the challenges you've already faced, and to see if you're going to choose, like, based off of your intuition or your emotions, which are not the same. Your emotions will have you fucked up. Your emotions will have you taking on passion projects and trying to, like, save the whole fucking world and do work for people who don't want to work on themselves, versus your intuition that'll tell you, maybe you can give a quick word, but don't get attached, don't get involved, don't go into business, you know, whatever. And then there might be other things where you feel like it's definitely for you. It's almost like a magnet. And that's okay. That was the short thing I was going to say before I got into all of that. Jeez. I noticed it feels like a magnet. I don't know what it feels like to be an actual magnet, obviously. But it's like things that are aligned intuitively feel like opposing poles of a magnet attracting. There's just, this is for me. Versus things that are misaligned feel like, okay, opposite poles, that's what it would actually look like. Versus things that are misaligned feel like same poles facing each other. And there's like this energetic repulsion. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel like it's supposed to go together, you know? And like, we all have that. We all have that gut instinct, that little feeling, that little voice in our head that says, no, not today, Satan. And we still do stuff anyway because we want to be a good person or because we really want something to happen. And it seems like this is what it's supposed to be. And so I feel like Okay, yeah. I feel like it's not even just one thing coming in week 3. I feel like it's multiple things coming in, and I feel like they're all being sent to help you strengthen that. And I also feel like, yeah, I just got this. I also feel like you're going to get confirmation shortly after coming to certain conclusions that you made the right choice. So it's not going to be like other times where maybe you made the wrong choice and you waited a long time and you found out months later that it was the wrong choice. Or like, you have to wait a long time to see the benefits of the situation either. I feel like you're going to be making these decisions, and then very shortly after, God is going to be confirming to you that you've made the right choice or you avoided a bullet, And so I really feel like week 3, we're just being called to act. Not get stuck in our heads about situations, like really trust our intuition. And I feel like above all, like as far as holding patience goes, because I talked about that a little bit, like, holding space for other people, I feel like you're really meant to be patient with yourself. Again, this is like a lot of inner work going on around here. 7 is a number of patience, like taking your time, things panning out, and then Pentacles, that's patience as well. So I feel like you're meant to be patient with yourself. And maybe that's even to say, like, you don't have to rush and make a decision. Like, you can give things a little bit of thought, but like, don't think about things so long that you end up not making a decision and you're just stuck. And so, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. We have Oblivion and Thread. Interesting. There's like a sword and another Ouroboros and a skull and a moon. Yeah, this is giving like really overcoming a particular like mindset here with Oblivion and Thread. With the Ouroboros, again, like that is the round one, that is like a looping cycle, and then we have it going through the eyes of that skull, and then we also have that sword, which does represent like your thoughts and your beliefs and your power and using your voice and da da da. And then we also have Oblivion, which is like, casting things out or things just being completely destroyed. Or just like total emptiness. Like it's giving like starting from scratch, both the Thread and the Oblivion. So I feel like week 3 is really like, it just really feels like a test to use the skills you've acquired in May and in the first 5 months of the year. Like, I really feel like, I know for sure I've been learning a lot of lessons. I feel like collectively we all have been learning a lot of different things this year and just over the past 12 months, but like for sure 2024 has been kicking some asses. And so it's like, are you gonna like put what you've learned to use? Are you gonna be this new empowered version of yourself, or are you going to keep choosing the wrong thing and putting yourself in risky situations? You're going to create your own reality from scratch with this Oblivion. It's like you can start from scratch, and you can, with that Thread, create your own new reality, like bit by bit, this patience energy. Like you can rebuild entirely. And I feel like it's talking about like rebuilding your beliefs. And then, of course, as a result of rebuilding your beliefs, you're changing your vibration and you're rebuilding your reality as well. It's like that as above, so below. And so allow yourself that opportunity. Unlikely and remain positive. There's so much of this. No, unlikely. What is up with that? Okay. This is related to like your emotions and your intuition. Really your emotions though. I feel like this is another like emphasis on listening to your intuition with the moon in the background, but you might be, again, I told you earlier, like your emotions and your intuition are not the same thing at all. And so like emotionally, you might be thinking that, again, like if you move through this situation in a particular way, like, it's gonna go like this, like, it's either gonna really suck or it's gonna be really great. I feel like whatever you're thinking, like, whatever the negative thing is you're thinking is what's unlikely. I feel like if you're worried about whether or not you're listening to the right voice, you are. And if you're worried about the situation not going the way it should because you've made the wrong choice, that's what's unlikely. Even if you are feeling emotional, I feel like this message is something that somebody's going to hear this and they really, really need to, is the feeling. And I feel like that's why I'm like going on and on and on in this section. It's like, even though you're feeling really emotional right now, your intuition is really poking through with that moon in the background. Like, you're still very connected. Even water is intuition, but this water crashing is giving like emotional more so than intuition. But also I feel like too, with it also being intuition, the element of water, it's like the signs as far as what you're meant to do are going to be really obvious with this crashing. So like, even if you are in a really emotional state, like, it's going to be easy to see what you are meant to do. And maybe that's because you heard this, or maybe it's because of something else, but you're going to learn how to distinguish between the two and follow what's right. You also have remain positive, which kind of reiterates that, like, whatever you're concerned about is not going to be what happens at all. So you might as well not be focusing on it, because you're killing yourself just like looping in whatever negative thought patterns that are bringing out this two of swords and the thread card. So just allow that thought process to die and allow yourself to trust yourself. Let's see. We have the mustard seed. Wow. There it goes. Okay. Mustard. You've mastered the broad strokes. Now it's time to really get into the nitty-gritty of mustard's tiny seeds. Stop looking at the bigger picture and focus on the minutia. Whether it's a problem, a project, or a situation, paying attention to the details will pay dividends. There's skill in being able to flesh out the intricacies of a situation, and that's where you'll really flourish right now. So yeah, maybe with this mustard card, it's like maybe part of what's keeping you stuck is like, I don't know, I really am getting the feeling of just like thinking of everything that could go wrong, particularly when it comes to trusting yourself. I feel like you're looking at the bigger picture, and by bigger picture, it's like every mistake you've ever made, every time you like chose wrong, every time you thought something was going to be this and then turned out to be that, and like you're just like ruminating on all of it, and you're killing yourself, and you're having all this anxiety, or maybe you've been in a situation for a really long time and you're thinking about like how much effort you may have put into it to try to like get yourself free, and it just hasn't worked yet, and you're just getting frustrated by that, and you're just thinking again all the things that could go wrong if this situation were to continue. But it's time to really like focus on one thing, because you're not, we talked about with the belladonna, spreading yourself too thin. And so it's like we're being introduced to this energy over here, and then in week 3, we're being given the test whether or not we are really like learning our lessons. And so yeah, like I would say like just focus on the things that you can control, and also really trust yourself. Really trust the things that you're putting your energy and effort into as well, because we're talking about like focusing over here in week 1. And with the mustard seed, like, you know, the belief behind that is just like, you know, like that's all the amount of faith you need to have in order to be successful. And, you know, don't get me quoting the Bible or anything, but I feel like many people have heard that, and hopefully you know what I'm talking about. But all you need, the only amount of faith you need is that of a mustard seed. And so that too, like if you, another little hit I got is like, if you're worried too about like your connections to spirit, and you're just like, how could my intuition be like legit? How could I be guided? How could I be protected? Because I haven't had faith up until now. That does not matter. You can start like today, and it doesn't have to look any kind of way either. Like faith can be what is right for you, and that could change as time goes on as well. So don't stop yourself from having that beautiful connection to lean on just because somebody told you it has to be this way. It does not have to be any particular way. You know, there's so many different belief systems out there and so many different facets to those. It's like you really do have to just learn how to discern what is for you and your personal journey at the time. And then eventually that might turn into like, you know, more solid foundations. But if that is something that you're like really thinking of from like a grander perspective, you know, like you're just really in your head, like, oh my God, like this is too much, or how am I supposed to do this? Or, you know, all the different things that could be manifesting from that. It's like, start small and you'll find the success you're looking for. And so let's get into the final week of June and close this out. Collective. We don't do reversals up in here. We have the Eight of Swords, the Three of Wands. So I feel like we're breaking free from illusion here. Like this Two of Swords, like 2 and 8 of Swords are both like cards of illusion and just being blinded by like certain beliefs and keeping yourself stuck. But because we have the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups, we have 33, guys, another angel number. So we have 99 and 33. And we have 88. 8. Super cool. Anyway, I feel like in the final week, because of whatever is happening over here in week 3, we're finally like making progress. Like, however this resonates, like whatever this means to you. Hey. Sorry, my cat is messing with stuff in the corner. Yeah, I feel like whatever illusions had us feeling stuck, had us still feeling down, had us feeling like the world was just crashing around us with this week 3, I feel like we're finally breaking free, and we're breaking free and making progress with the Three of Cups and the Three of Wands. Both of these indicate like community and help and teamwork and progress and support and spiritual guidance, celebration. It's just like so much expansion with the number 3. Yeah, expansion especially, I'm hearing. So yeah, I feel like really just don't let this get you down. Like really keep that in mind if you're watching this, like as the month progresses and you get into the 3rd week of June. If it's just like feeling really heavy, remember you heard this message that you really just should just trust, just have a little bit of faith, just ask for help, and don't let whatever you're thinking bog you down, because it's unlikely to happen the way that you're worried about. Yeah, support is coming in, opportunities coming in, forward movement is coming in by the end of this month here. And the end of the month too. When is the summer solstice? Let me see here where this landing. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Dead at the end of week 3. And so yeah, I really do feel like as we transition into like out of here, again, like this June energy, the summer solstice bringing like some crazy fucking change is definitely like, I feel like showing up here. Because this last week right here, the third week, that Friday is when we transition into summertime. And then right after that, boom, you're breaking free, you're expanding. And so it's like, again, like, and with the nines coming out at the very beginning of this, it's like, you're right at the end of something, and you might be really fucking tired of chasing your happiness, chasing your success, putting in the work, believing, even like maybe you've been running on faith, you've been living on a prayer. And that is why you're getting this reminder right here to not let this last little bit of energy that has to close out get to you, because it's literally like the end of it. And all you need to continue to get by and to like finish this out is like that little mustard seed of faith. Like, and that might be all the fuck you have right now. And that's, you know, sometimes it just be like that. But know that that is, you know, moving away. We have chaos. Interesting. Electricity, storm clouds, eyes covered, and then reflection. I'm getting lessons because we have this reflection and the chaos card. Starting with reflection. Reflection is giving me both reflection on things and finally being like, oh, that's why that happened, or oh, okay, it makes sense now, or, you know, thank God, da da da, you know, that 2020 hindsight. And also in that understanding, realizing that you experienced certain things because of where your head was and how different maybe it could have been had you kept your wits about you, had you not allowed the external to affect the internal. And so, yeah, again, like we have like this overall energy of positivity and expansion. So I wouldn't say this is anything to worry about. I feel like this is like you're finally gaining like insight and clarity around certain situations. And with expansion and it being cups and wands in particular, because it could be way different with three of like swords, for example. That's way different energy. I feel like you're also really like with this realization, like unlocking another level of power. Like we're unlocking a lot of shit here, but this is like with that reflection, you're really realizing like how much you influence what you experience. And so like I feel like even with this, like the way, let me close the calendar so I can see what you guys see. The way the person is like expanding and there's like different sizes of them, I feel like that's mirroring the energy of these threes right here. And it's also like, I feel like you're able to manifest bigger things, which is also kind of the energy of the Three of Wands. With him looking out on the ocean, it's like casting your net really far out. And I feel like you're casting your energy really far out and calling things to you. Maybe once you really like realize how much this little bit of faith, how far that can take you, you start believing more and more, and you end up being like a real force. Yeah, that's what I'm getting there. So let's see. Look, trust. Yeah, definitely an increase in faith. It's like the person, and I'm like, is that the same person? It's not. It's Jesus. They got a beard, and the person on the bottom does not have a beard. So it's like you're just very connected, and you are really like learning to trust. Like all of this is, again, like it's so in your favor, even though sometimes while you're in it, it doesn't seem that way. That's why this hindsight here is 2020, and you're starting to really realize like why things happen, and like now you have increased trust in yourself, in the universe, that you're protected, that you're loved. And that you're also co-creating. Like nothing you're doing is being done alone. There's also, I didn't notice this little bit of fire at the bottom of the card. So I feel like there's like passion being reignited as well in some way, like starting to feel inspired. And we have improving health. So yeah, I feel like with that improved trust and you finally seeing the other side of a situation that you've been in for some time, I feel like this is talking about like mental health. Physical health too. I think there's like DNA activation. Again, I really do feel like gifts are just being unlocked left and right, and stuff is starting to like really make more sense overall. But I feel like, again, there's like a DNA activation. There is physical and mental healing. Maybe like your physical health has started to suffer because of how much anxiety you have. You might be getting headaches. You might just be really tired, just stressed all the time. And like you're finally coming out of that, and again seeing the other side of it. And I feel like this is like gonna be more consistent, where like you're not teetering back and forth between like feeling good for like a day and then going back to feeling really low and crazy, like this chaos, you know, for most of the time or whatever. It's like you're finally feeling stability with this improving health card. So let's see what this last seed and sickle is talking about. Oh, it's the sickle. Whoa, okay. So we talked about things finally coming to a close, and I'm pretty sure that that is what that card means. It's like the death card. It's a huge ending and transformation into something better. From my understanding of like, oh wait, no, the seed is a different seed. One is birch, okay. Or no, one is the seed, and then we have birch. That's kind of cool though, that we got one, and then the mustard seed, and then the sickle. There is definitely like kind of a level up there after letting go of some things and shifting our focus. So that's cool. Anyway, the sickle. You've done it. Literally, like, let me look at that. You've done it. This card represents finality and endings. All your hard work has come to fruition, and now it's time to reap the rewards. The sickle is a tool for harvesting, a link between your body and the bounty you have worked for through your own expansion. Your harvest is gathered, your loose ends tied off, and you can draw a deep breath knowing you've earned every moment of this. And just around the corner, the next spark of inspiration awaits. I said the last word wrong. Anyway, that is reminding me of this little fire here. I was talking about like you're just like there's like a spark of passion and inspiration coming in here. Yeah, so again, I freaking love pulling the seed and sickle cards at the end. It just is always so cool to like see how it really sums shit up. It's like, in case you were wondering, I mean this, you know? But yeah, like I can't even add to that. I'm just gonna read it again so y'all can like really feel it. You've done it. Okay? You've done it. This card represents finality and endings. All of your hard work has come to fruition, and now it's time to reap the rewards. The sickle is a tool for harvesting, a link between your body and the bounty you've worked for through your own expansion. Your harvest is gathered, your loose ends tied off, and you can draw a deep breath knowing you've earned every moment of this. And just around the corner, the next spark of inspiration awaits. What are we talking about? Celebration. You're finally moving on from this pain in the ass, mental instability, maybe financial instability, like feeling like you're on the precipice and still having little bits of work to do here and there. You're learning how to accept help. You're learning how to really trust yourself. You're learning how to like tap into your intuition. You're learning how to fully expand and not let limitation and illusion get to you. And you're really embodying all that here at the end of the month. And you're ready to receive all that you've been working so hard for. And that's what the fuck I've been feeling. That's what the fuck all these intuitives out here have been talking about. And my friends and I have been like, oh my God, June just feels like, I don't know, like I just feel it. That's what the fuck we're feeling. I'm sorry, I'm saying fuck a lot, but like when I've thought about June, I have felt fire. And not like fire, like a literal fire, but fire like passion and energy and movement and excitement and manifestation and transformation. And just, I don't know, June feels like an answered prayer. I don't know if that's going to make sense to everybody, but it feels like this huge release. Like a sigh of relief. It does it say that here? Let me see. Yeah, you can draw a deep breath knowing you've earned every moment of this. That's what it feels like. It's like, finally, you know? Like I was fucking tired. That's why we have this 99. It's like, you gotta keep that little bit of faith. Like I said, this might be all you have left. At the end of this, it might just be exhausting. And even if this doesn't like mean there's some like huge crazy thing happening, it could just be like you've been patient for a really long time and you're still just not quite seeing the end of a situation or the beginning of a new situation or whatever. Again, however this resonates with you, and you're just like over it, but it's all worth it. Like it's all coming to a head and closing out, and you're going to be able to reap your harvest. And so yeah, I can't add much more onto that. I think that's super freaking cool that came out at the end of the reading here. And I hope that this resonates with you guys. I hope that everybody who needed to hear this message finds it and benefits from it. And I hope that you guys do come back throughout the month and kind of check it out. I always think that's super cool to go back and like after the fact see how it resonated. Sometimes I don't even watch videos like this until the end of the month to see if they're accurate. And so if you do that, I don't blame you. But yeah, it looks like a really good month, you guys. So again, I hope this helps. I love you guys. If you watch this, I really appreciate your time. If you are interested in getting a private reading with me, I do offer private readings. You can visit my website, www.houseb.me. I'll link it down in the description box. And if you would like to see more content, please like and subscribe to support my channel so that I can keep this up so that more people can see it. I also, I want to get into pick-a-cards, guys. I think those are really cool. I watch pick-a-cards myself. And so since we are having the summer solstice this month, and then after that we're entering into the second half of 2024, July through December, I'm going to do a pick-a-card for that. So definitely, if that's something you're interested in, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, turn on notifications if you want. It's not like you're going to get blown up because I upload like once or twice a month, but if that's something you are wanting to see, then definitely make sure that you set yourself up to, you know, see when that comes out. But yeah, many beautiful things in the works, guys. And I hope there's beautiful things ahead for you. I think there are, according to this. And so all the best of luck. Thank you once again. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.